Hi everybody and welcome to That Railway Engineer. Today we're going to be checking out my Thomas collection, or rather my Thomas the Tank Engine collection. Ever since I was a child I was a very big fan of the Thomas the Tank Engine series, as proven by quite a few things on here. Now you might be thinking, why are you not past your Thomas days? For some reason I just never managed to actually get past it. It was a bit of a weird one for me really. But ever since then I've always liked trains and steam engines, and I'm just realising that has fingerprints and smudges on it. I'll give it a clean up at some point. But you're probably wondering what all of this is. Well, this isn't actually very much of my collection. I have much more Doctor Who stuff, and in fact behind this autograph here you can see a photo of me with David Tennant, believe it or not, of all people, which is one of my prized possessions. Absolutely love that, and I keep it on my shelf. But without whittering on for too long, why don't we have a look at the first item, which is going to be right at the back, and it's going to be my original Railway series Thomas the Tank Engine. I think it was the 70th, 75th anniversary collection that they released. So I'm just going to move these off to the side, and my table is very, very dusty. I need to give it a wipe down. So I do apologise, but right there is my original Railway series complete collection by Reverend W. Awdry himself. It's absolutely one of my favourite books. If I turn it around, and again you can see the TARDIS is behind me, or behind the book rather. As you can see, the other side, unfortunately with a lot of scratches and marks, also features the same design as the front. The front also has a smaller version of the same design on it, and features yet again another smaller version of that design. And if I open it up, I'll just go to Edward the Blue Engine, and I believe that story is Thomas and Bertie right there. You can see all of the little pictures inside of it, and it's a fantastic book. I would like to read this someday for you, because I know you guys, much like me, would absolutely love it. No, this isn't Thomas and Bertie, sorry. This is Bertie's Chase, actually. Just reading the top of it. "I'll catch Edward or bust," said Bertie grimly as he raced along the road. "Oh, my gears and axles," he groaned, toiling up the hill. "I'll never be the same bus again." As you can see, quite the book that, like I say, I absolutely adore. And moving everything back in, we've got the two wooden Railway Thomases right here, along with Hornby Thomas. I'll focus on the Hornby Thomas first and move the two wooden railways ones out of the way. They're not important for now, but I will explain where I got those. So, as you can see as well, the dusty desk. Ugh. Okay, right. So, little Hornby Thomas here. I got him, believe it or not, a few weeks ago at a railway event. Day Out with Thomas, actually, believe it or not. I went to the East Lancashire Railway, where one of the places I work, for a day off, and took tons of photos of the event. I'll show some of them now. and then visited the Standard 4 shop, our shop. Our shop is the Standard 4 shop, which is where a lot of our donations and things like that come from as well, from keeping the shop open to funding our engines. But I noticed this little fella in it, and he was in remarkably good condition. There's a scratch here and there, but he was in remarkably good condition for £50, and I thought, you know what, that's not bad, I'll take him home. I keep him on my shelf with my other engines, such as Tornado, I believe it's a K3, and that also has what I like to call the Graham coach on it. The Graham coach named after my late grandfather who died last year. Unfortunately, I lost another one this year. Bought this little fella at the event. He looked lovely. Thought, you know what, I'll take you home, and I gave his wheels a bit of a clean up. They still need some more cleaning. I can just rectify the paint issue here, but otherwise he doesn't seem to actually have any other issues. He's a brilliant runner. They tested him out. I've had him sitting on the shelf ever since, but they did test him out in the shop, so all's well and perfect. And it is my first ever Hornby Thomas as well, because I never got one as a kid, even though I desperately wanted one. Let's move him off to the side and move to this little fella here. Now this is an interesting one. I got this 3 years ago at the National Railway Museum in York. First of all, you're probably thinking, why was I there in the first place? I love trains. That's all the reason you need. And I saw him on the shelf. I think he was about £10 or something, £12, not something too ridiculous. And at the time I didn't really have anything Thomas, and I thought, you know what, it's nice, it's small, why don't I just pick one up? So I did, and here he is now. Moving him to the side, I'll bring out the special edition version, the Day Out with Thomas version. This version right here. Now this is a bit of a different one really, because it's obviously celebrating a day out with Thomas. Now, even though it says 2020 edition on the side right there, this was not bought in 2020. This was, I believe, leftover stock from 2020, and they've been selling them every year ever since. And so I picked this up the other week with the Hornby Thomas, £20. Yeah, that's how much I paid. Kind of ridiculous for a wooden engine, but I wasn't going to argue with the semantics of a child's toy, because God knows how long it takes to make, God knows how long the metal, the plastic, how long it takes to assemble, things like that. So I didn't argue, and I just thought, fuck it, I'll get it. Didn't have to, but I just thought, I'll get it. Next on my list is the autograph of Mara Wilson that I showed you right at the start, on a lovely backdrop of Thomas and the Magic Railroad. And this is real, 100%. I can prove it because I have a photo of me with her, which I'll show now. That cost me 60 quid. This was 40. The photograph was 20 quid. So not overall too bad. It's a shame Peter Fonda died a couple of years ago. I'd have loved to get him on this as well, but unfortunately he passed away. Being an avid Thomas lover fan, or avid Thomas fan, I had to get it on this one. And I wouldn't say I've kept it ever since. I've had it in a little folder with all my autographs. And you can see more of the David Tennant on the right as well, right there. But back to this one. Yes, she was at Comic-Con in at the end of 2020, I want to say. And I thought, well, I wanted to get her autograph anyway, because I loved her in things like Matilda and Miracle on 34th Street and Mrs. Doubtfire, and of course this film. Now, whilst this film isn't one of the best Thomas films they've ever made, it was the film that I first actually, believe it or not, saw her in, and I thought, I kind of have to get it on this one because, number one, I love Thomas. Number two, Mara Wilson's a great actor, or was a great actor when she was a child, because I don't think she does it anymore. So, there's my reasoning. And if we return everything else to where it was, I will move on to point number 3. Point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Point 6. I do apologise, I've not counted them correctly. I'm not very good with maths. And realistically, I don't actually need the camera on, but I'm probably just going to have it rolling in the background anyway. So point number 6, or part of my collection, is all of the Thomas the Tank Engine series from 1 to 5. It's not many of the series, believe it or not, but I do have it all on Apple TV. I don't have it physically, so I can't show you physically, but I've got a picture of them all here, and it's got all of the episodes on it. I can watch it whenever I want, or listen to it at night if I can't sleep, like I probably should be doing now. So it's nice to have those all digitally, and because they're on my Apple TV, I can just log in on any device and watch them wherever I want, which is absolutely brilliant, and I've listened to them way too many times. I can probably recite them now. So that's my Thomas collection. Hope you all enjoyed my little delve into the Thomas universe. I wish I could say I had more, but and I think out of everything that I would like to get for Thomas, I'd like to get a Percy for Thomas, because you can't have Thomas without his friends. I would probably end up getting a James as well right here. Now, even though this is all I have, I could probably update every once in a while, maybe every couple of years or something, I don't know, maybe every year. Admittedly, I'd also like one particular model, and it would cost me thousands, if not hundreds already. And that is a model of Thomas that actually runs on, not this scale, but the actual scale that they were in for the television series, with moving eyes and remote control eyes and things like that, like they actually had in the show. I would love a Thomas prop that does everything it did in the show. That is probably my biggest want out of everything. Like I say, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing more railway videos because I'm not quite done yet, but I'm sort of waiting for my transfer to the Steam department, because I would actually like to get onto the driver's route. I will probably explain that in another video because it's going to be too much right now, but I will, and I promise, explain it at some point. Until then, I shall see you all next time. Bye-bye.